we're going to find out what's happening because game number 3 is getting underway right now. SjoW versus ErA. This is the match I have been waiting for pretty much all of HPL. ErA always bringing interesting things to the table, but SjoW, monster in his matches so far. We're going to find out if ErA can stop that tonight.
You've been so mean to your note cards tonight.
It's just, you know, they're mean to me. Make me read off of them and stuff.
Oh, look at this. This looks like Token Druid from SjoW. This is something we haven't seen before.
This is the, I mean, you know, I talked about not changing, but this is the kind of thing I think could catch ErA off guard. You know, he knows that ErA is going to prepare specifically for this match. Why give him an easy time?
And I love that the client was kind of keeping away from us. It looks like he's playing, that's an Illuminator. I saw him streaming this the other day.
This is exact, I mean, this is the kind of stuff we see from ErA. We don't know what he's going to do in his matches.
I loved that the client had taken it away from us so we couldn't see ErA's hand there. It's like such a good tease.
Always wanting to find out, but this is a great opening hand for ErA. Sees no wild growth, sees no interbait. You know, you said it earlier, always a sigh of relief.
And look, SjoW has a big game hunter in his hand. I wonder if these players have heard the interview from ErA. I'm just gonna put it out on Twitter and be like, stop playing big game hunter against ErA.
It's not a good card versus him. He will literally forego playing 7-power minions to have this card be dead in your opponent's hand.
Yeah, you see him build entire decks with that in mind. He even said in his interview, it's the worst feeling in Hearthstone. It's just, he hates losing to that card because no one's ever beaten it.
Yeah, in this hand, looking pretty darn equipped to fight against what Druid's bringing to the table here.
Yeah, now, usually when something like this would happen in SjoW's matchups, you know, someone play a card like Illuminator, you know, it's not something you're used to seeing, he would kind of, you know, giggle or whatever, you know, and you see SjoW not even react to that because you're expecting this out of ErA.
Yeah, you always expect something sort of weird, and so Fireball getting picked up, that was perfect. He didn't want to use that polymorph, didn't want to sack his minions at all. I mean, just, was there a better draw in the deck?
No, there was not. Polymorph, this is one of the ones that has so much value late in the game against SjoW. He's got so many huge minions that you need to take care of that Fireball might not be good enough against.
Yeah, so this is going to be an opportunity for ErA to really bring this board tension. There is a big game hunter target in his deck, though, but I can tell you what, something that he kept in mind when he was building this deck is the thought process of, I may be able to duplicate a Ragnaros if big game hunter gets played.
Yeah, you see the duplicate in his hand already. This is something he's probably actually had happen multiple times while playing ranked play.
So we're going to get a secret first and figure out which one of these he should play. And I mean, I don't see an argument against Emperor Thaurissan. This guy's coming down. He's bringing the beats. He even gets 2 points of health off of his Illuminator.
No, that's not something to scoff at. He's going to be able to stay at a very high life total this game if SjoW doesn't take care of it.
Yeah, very likely to in this point, but
that card, you know, it's one of those annoying cards. Like, God, I gotta kill this thing. I actually have to attack this Illuminator. Like, come on.
I don't think I've ever actually attacked an Illuminator. I don't think it's ever been played against me.
I have an arena.
I don't think I have an arena. I don't think it's ever just been played at all. SjoW able to handle the board pretty nicely, ends up with a 4-2. But I don't think ErA's necessarily upset with his board position. I think this is looking pretty darn strong for him.
Yeah, he's just gonna be able to use this explosive sheep here to, you know, kind of, you know, clean up the garbage here.
Dual Claw's going down. Duplicate's getting set, and now the turns. This is where they're going to start getting scary for SjoW. He doesn't know what either of these secrets are right now.
You know, it's the thing we talked about. It's actually going to happen here. ErA's going to play a Ragnaros.
Well, it's not a Mirror Instinct.
Yeah, ErA's going to play a Ragnaros here, and he has a duplicate. It's probably something like, has he played a spell yet? Do you think it's Counterspell? We've seen the full range of spectrum from ErA.
I mean, it's tough to say whatever it possibly is. Big hit for ErA, nails the Emperor Thaurissan.
Even a fist pump from ErA. I love seeing this guy wear his emotions on his sleeve.
That's the biggest play that's happened so far.
And SjoW's about to get the bad news.
Well, it's not necessarily terrible news because ErA does have to be investing 8 mana into Ragnaros every single time. I mean, obviously, he would rather his opponent not have a duplicate in this scenario, but what other options does he have? He has to start doing this.
Yeah, and you know, he does have an aggressive hand going, you know, from here. He's gonna be able to Loatheb this turn, and he has, you know, Savage War and Druid of the Claw in his hand after this as well.
Yeah, well, guess what? ErA's got more Ragnarai coming.
Ragnarai, I think that is the official plural of Ragnaros.
Send yours, Del Fuego. And it hits this shade outright, and so SjoW, he can take out this other one, but he's dealing with more Ragnaroses. I mean, can he just let these continue to sit on board?
I mean, I think it's a little scary if you were to do something like that, and it, you know, kind of plays into Flame Strike a little bit out of ErA's deck. That's something you need to be, you know, conscious of going forward because he could make 3 minions here off this Cineris, but again, you know, if ErA has a Flame Strike, you're playing right into him.
Well, if he's playing Cineris here, it's +2/+2, and we're going upstairs. There's no way he's making 2/2s in this spot. You know, you could make 2/2s or you could get 2/2 charges.
Yeah, I mean, if you make the 2/2s though, and he doesn't have something like Flame Strike, it plays around, you know, the Ragnaros shot a little bit more. Plus, it sets up, you know, a really good Savage War next turn as well.
SjoW is looking for the absolute maximum value. He wants all of his cards to be punishing effects in this spot. We don't know what ErA's secret is here either. I mean, if this is Ice Block, I feel like he's going to be just comfortable playing a Ragnaros here. But if it's not Ice Block, I think you're very likely to see other sets of plays.
Yeah, you might see something like Sludge Belcher plus Polymorph, but if you see him play the Ragnaros here and just kind of YOLO these shots, then it's very likely that it's Ice Block.
Yeah, it does have other options available to him though, so maybe willing to take those. But if it's not Ice Block and he misses this Ragnaros shot, this game's over.
Yeah, if it goes upstairs, then SjoW's gonna have enough to kill him.
You know, that's not necessarily true. It still could be Counterspell.
Yeah, it could still be Counterspell. Yeah, SjoW needs to draw like a Wild Growth.
Yeah, he's got to draw something to deal with this. ErA's going to play the more defensive route, and I fully expect Lothar to get sheeped here. It's the one that's presenting the most damage. And this shot is so important for ErA right now, but kind of seeing his face, I don't know, it's mixed emotions there. Wow, nails the Cenarius outright, though.
Oh, well, SjoW has Force of Nature Savage Roar. It's just, does he believe this is Counterspell? You know, it isn't lethal here, actually. It's only 14, so...
Yeah, I mean, he has to get board development.
Yeah, he has to get board development, and he needs to find something to see, you know, to check to see if this is Counterspell as well.
Keeper of the Grove.
Ooh, he might be able to go 2 to the upstairs with this Keeper of the Grove if he wants.
Yeah, he's going to shade Hero Power instead. But now, again, this is such a scary spot. I fully expect ErA to drop the other Ragnaros here and roll the dice and hope for the best. But I don't know. I mean, given his last play, Flame Strike's totally fine too.
Yeah, I was about to say Flame Strike might just be better here and then go upstairs for 9.
This is getting a little bit uncomfortable for SjoW. You know, if this is a Counterspell, this plan is going to be foiled, but he's looking at lethal damage in his hand if this secret isn't relevant.
Yeah, can you play around that this turn?
I don't know. This is a really tough spot. Again, he just has no idea what the secret is. He knows it's not Mirror Instant. He knows it's not Duplicate. I think he's thinking Counterspell right now. Like, of all the cards to be thinking about, you know, Counterspell is usually one of the ones that's a little bit lower on the radar.
I was like doing some math to see, you know, if you Force of Nature into Druid of the Claw attack for 4 here, how likely are you to win next turn? But I mean, you have to have a lot of things go your way here.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too many things go your way. What to do? This is a tough spot. This is a really tough spot. I think he's going to dig for Wild Growth.
Yeah, because I mean, if he finds Wild Growth, the game is over.
You can see SjoW shaking his head.
He doesn't have enough mana for all that, actually.
He's been put in a very, very tough spot this turn. So he's going to charge, and 2's going upstairs. He's going to hope for the best here.
Yeah, he's going to make both of the cards lethal next turn.
ErA does have some fantastic options in front of him, though.
He's going to be able to play 2 Sludge Belchers this turn if he wants to. He can put himself back up to 15.
SjoW's shaking his head. He feels like he's lost. I mean, backed by 2 Sludge Belchers. I mean,
that's the very common reaction we see from players playing against ErA. Just the, you know, the shake of the head. Like, what do I do? Like,
yeah, I mean, what can you do? This Ragnaros shot's still important. Every single one of these has been so vital so far. The last place he wants to go upstairs. SjoW gets set to 7, and ErA maybe a little bit uncomfortable about this.
You know, he's hiding behind 2 Sludge Belchers, though. You gotta believe he feels at least a little comfortable here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Force Nature Savage Roar is pushing through this. It's not happening at this spot. And SjoW, he's got to be feeling heat right now. And how can he not? He's been getting fireballs shot in his face from Ragnaros.
I mean, he has to gain life here, right?
Yeah, he can't figure it out. He knows that this has just been an unrecoverable board state because a couple of the Ragnaros shots, you know, being timed. You know, the timing on these is super important. The fact that he got the one on Emperor Thaurissan, that was really the big deal in this game.
That was the big turning point in the game. If he misses there and the Emperor stays in play, I think SjoW has a pretty good, you know, a pretty good chance of winning this game from there.
I agree with you too. I mean, if the Emperor sticks in play for the second round, that's going to be snowball completely out of control.
You see SjoW just absolutely, he's just baffled about what's going on here. He's been playing the whole game as if it's Counterspell, so maybe you just have to continue doing that.
Yeah, he's going to heal up here. Oh, that's got to be ugly.
Yeah, he's going to take care of one of these Sludge Belchers.
He does not have time to finish that extra attack, by the way. That 1-2 is sticking around. You can see SjoW doesn't like it. Feels very...
Oh, he got it queued up.
Wow, he actually got it queued up. I'm surprised by that. But look at ErA's hand. This is such a goofy spot to be in. I've never seen stuff like this happen before. This is what you get from ErA matches.
Yeah, I was saying, this hand is ErA in a nutshell. There's a couple things he can do this turn. He could, you know, Frostbolt the Ancient of Lore, or Frostbolt here, you know, attack with his Sludge Belcher, he could even go to face here and then play the second Ragnaros.
He's going for the 50. Well, what he's doing here is he's Frostbolting, picking this off, anti-Killbot. Sludge Belcher's going upstairs, and then either one of these Ragnaros shots is effectively lethal at this point.
Yeah, both of these Ragnaros shots actually just end the game. And where do you go from here for your show? This is just this is the feeling that this is what happens when you play against ErA.
I mean this is the major strength of it, and this is the beauty of it, is that when ErA picks up game number 1, you're baffled. I mean, you're scratching your head going, I've never seen this happen before. This isn't a situation I practice. You know who has practiced this situation a lot? ErA.
Yeah, ErA, please don't ever change. Just keep being yourself, keep doing what you're doing. You make it so easy to come into work every day and watch you play.